So this will be the last video before the first start. Now there's a couple things I'm still waiting on, one of which is being my intake manifold. I still don't have that back yet, so I'm gonna get as far as I can without having the intake manifold here. I'm gonna get all the coil pack leads on there. I'm just gonna mock them up, we'll cut them, we'll build them after the intake manifold goes on. I made a lot of progress last night off camera with the fan wiring. It's similar to how we did the fuel pumps, where there's a relay. The relay has to go to the back of the car to where the battery is. There's a fuse back there as well for each fan. Then I have to run the signal wire to the relay to close the relay to send power to the fans, whole bunch of stuff. I need to finish the fan wiring today though. But what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now let's get this car pretty much ready to start. So today I'm gonna do literally every single thing I can to get this thing started, so that way all we have to do is bolt on the intake manifold and start this thing. Now last night I went through, you guys can see the couple red wires right there hanging out. I went through and I got all the fan relay wiring done. Let me pop the trunk so you guys can see. It's a little dark back here, so I do apologize, but there are our fuses for the fans. The relays are up in the glove box because I wanted to keep them somewhat hidden, so that way we just didn't have relays all over the engine bay, all over literally everything everywhere. So as you guys can see, both relays are right there for the fans. We have our ECU mounted up. I got all the excess wires in here cleaned up, so the entire glove box assembly is done. Now with these harnesses, some of you did point out that the way I have them set up right now will compress my spine. You're absolutely right. That's what I get for trying to set up safety equipment at 1 a.m. So I have a harness bar that's getting dropped off today. I found one locally. It's a temporary solution until we get our full cage installed in the car. So if we do take this to the track in the meantime, I at least have a way to be able to use the harnesses versus just using the seat belt on the driver's side. Now what we have left on the checklist here that I need to do today is the brake booster line, which thank you guys for pointing out that I need to put a check valve in that. I still have the stock line, which should have the check valve in it. I can just extend that a little bit for the meantime, and I will order a kit to build a longer line, or you know, I'll probably just buy a check valve and then make my own line. Turbo's got to come out, so that way I can get the rest of the coil pack harnesses in there. I'm gonna find a way to be able to mount these up to the cylinder head, so that way they're not dingle dangling all around, they're not touching our turbo, they're not doing anything like that. On top of that, the oil return line will go on, whole bunch of smaller stuff. So I'm just gonna start things out today by finishing up the fan wiring, verifying that the fans work. All I have to do is take those two power wires, run them along the firewall, run them down this frame rail right here, and then run them over to these fans. I don't want to go over here right near the downpipe and the turbo. I want to try to mitigate how much stuff I'm actually putting around that downpipe. So let me run these guys all the way around to here. Let me terminate those up, and then we'll test our fans, make sure those work. So it's been about 5 hours since what you guys just saw, and I've still been trying to mess with this electrical stuff. I can't get any of the relays to work, none of them. Neither of them for the fans. The one for the second fuel pump, none of them work. I thought the one for the fuel pump was working, it's not working. Literally, I'm so over electrical. I never want to do this again. Like it's that bad right now. So the way I have these relays set up in here, the blue wire goes to the ECU. That's the DPO to ground out the relay. The black one is chassis ground, and the two red ones, one of them comes from the battery, the other one goes out to the fans. And for some reason they're not switching. I can jump the fan to make it work just by connecting the two red wires in there, but it's not the right way to do it. Like, I genuinely don't understand why these aren't working. I'm so over electrical, dude. If I set the camera right there and I come over here with this and I touch the blue wire to the negative and the black to the positive. So I've got a relay in this now. Black and blue. The relay clicks on. But it's not doing it for anything else. This I hardwired to the fuel pump relay right there, this little yellow wire, and if I touch that, turns on the fuel pump. But if I do it the other way and I use the trigger wire from the ECU, it does nothing. I genuinely don't understand. I don't get it. I'm gonna keep trying to figure out these relays. I'm getting exponentially frustrated right now because I can't get it to work, and it should be working. So let me continue to play with this stupid crap and hopefully figure it, like, it's It's very frustrating because I've spent 5 hours on relays. Relays, come on. I'm feeling in a better mood. We got it figured out. It was literally like 3.5 to 4 hours of troubleshooting this mess to figure out. So on most relays, what you have is you have a signal, a chassis ground or a battery ground, a power wire from the battery, and then another wire going out to your source for whatever you're trying to power. Now that wasn't working, and it was driving me nuts. That's why it wasn't working. So huge shout out to Donald too on Instagram. He was helping me bounce ideas back and forth. But I came over here to this diagram and I looked. I was like, all right, how is Haltech powering these fuses and how are they making it work? Apparently the DPO goes into the fuse on one slot, then it goes out another slot, and then there's 2 battery hookups. One battery hookup is for constant 12 volt. The other one's for constant 12 volt. It doesn't make any sense to me for relays, but apparently that's how they have it laid out here. So now I'm going to go through, I'm gonna fix the fuel pump wiring in the back, verify the second fuel pump works. Once I get that done, I'm gonna jump up here, finish the fan wiring, get the fan wiring done, and then fucking all the wiring's done. I'm done doing all the wiring. I don't wanna do wiring anymore. I'm so tired of wiring. No more wiring. Let me fix this. It all works. It finally all works. That was 5 hours of pure hell. Never again. Never again. I don't want to do that again. But it works. It's all that matters. This thing sounds like a full-out race car now. So I got my plastic bag here to show you guys some air movement. If I come in here, I turn the car on. This thing's loud. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Woo! Actually, I guess I could just do that. Sucks it right up on the radiator. Sucks it right up on the radiator. Got nice air coming out of both. Finally, dude! Finally, that sucked. I'm not a fan of wiring at all, but I'm glad the fans work and both fuel pumps work now. They're a lot louder, I can tell you that much. So let me clean up my brain box, get the fuses bolted back down, shove away the wires that I'm not using anymore, and then we can finally move on, because this took way longer than I wanted it to. But yeah, I'm glad I figured it out. Glad we found out that, well, I'm kind of glad it happened, because I would have had no idea that the other fuel pump wasn't working. So woo! Let me clean up the brain box. All right, took a Red Robin dinner break. It's like 9 o'clock right now. I want to get more work done on this so that way I can start this car tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday for me, which I don't know if you guys are going to see this video tomorrow or not. I'm not going to make you guys wait hella long either from when this video goes live to when the first start video goes live. So just keep that in mind. It'll come very shortly after this video. Also got the harness bar for the harnesses. So that's a temporary thing until we get our cage in. I'm not even going to worry about putting that in tonight. So next up, I want to get the lower radiator hose knocked off the checklist. So Kyle made up this attachment dealio, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. So I don't know. Let me try fiddling with this. I'm gonna try using this and cutting up a stock radiator hose to see if I can make this combo work. So let's go find out. Let's figure out if we can make this work. Yeah, just as I thought, that thermostat housing just isn't going to work. It's way too long. Even with bolting this on and then trying to put a hose on, or putting a hose on and then trying to bolt it on, it's just right up against the radiator and it just doesn't fit. I mean, if it had a 90 in it, it would definitely fit, because then we'd just have to go from like right there to that hose right down there. So sucks. Kyle is coming up tomorrow with the manifold, so I'll give him that piece back. Hopefully it's a quick turnaround time on this piece as well. I mean, I'm assuming it should be, so we'll find out. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and get the turbo permanently installed. So by doing so, I need to go ahead and get the coil packs kind of sorted out over here. Not the coil packs, but the actual spark plug leads. So let's get this thing back on the ground. Let me tear out this turbo. Let me tear out the stuffs. let's get the spark plug leads in here, and then we can get this guy permanently bolted on, so it doesn't have to go back like off on, off on, off on, which means that we can get clamps on, all sorts of fun stuff. All right, fun update for you guys. So the turbo is permanently installed with all the hardware, the gasket, everything like that. The downpipe is installed. I did have to clearance this bracket right here. It was just a little too close to the downpipe for my liking. I did rotate the downpipe a little bit to get a little bit more clearance in between the fuel rail and the fuel line. I know that sketches some people out, but I promise we will be all right. Now I need to pop the headlight off, get the Vangent clamp on the turbo to the intercooler piping, and then get the clamps on the intercooler piping, kind of deal with the last little bit of this area. And then after that, you guys, I think I'm pretty much done with everything that I can do. Tomorrow I'll run over to AutoZone. I'll get a 1/8 vacuum line to go from here to our fuel pressure regulator as the reference, and I'll get the brake booster situated as well. Then at that point I'm literally just waiting on the intake manifold. So for now, let's get this situation dealt with over here, get the turbo hooked up to the intercooler right here, and you know, keep making forward progress. I feel like this video has been all over the place, and I do apologize, you guys. I'm just really trying to get this car done so we can start it. It's about 1 a.m. right now. Matt came down and started helping me with stuff. We ran into some fitment issues with the turbo kit. It's just I think when it was fabricated, not everything was 100% where it needed to be. So there's slight things that were quite an annoyance to try to get everything to line back up, but for the most part, we have the turbo side all done. So and we have the checklist almost done. There's like 5 things left on the checklist, and they're super easy to do. Well, like 4 of them are super easy. Hope you guys can tell I'm busting ass to try to get this done. So we have the intercooler all put up here. I don't have T-bolts that are big enough for this, so we had to go with some worm gears for the first start. It'll totally be fine, but when this was fabricated, it wasn't fabricated with enough support brackets, and it needs more support brackets because the whole intercooler wiggles a little bit and it's starting to lean forward, and that's pulling away from the hot side, my bad, the hot side of the turbo. So that needs to get corrected. The turbo didn't want to completely line back up with everything, so Matt had to like pull up on the up pipe while I bolted everything down. We had to rotate we had to rotate the cold side of the compressor housing also. Sorry guys, I'm like super tired right now. But we got a lot done today. I'm gonna come back out in the morning and keep this video going because there's more smaller stuff that I want to get done. So that way the next video can just be the first start pending we get our intake manifold back. So downpipe's permanently on here. Wideband is plugged in. Oil feed is tightened down and on there. The turbo blanket's on. The gasket's on for the turbo. The vacuum lines, we had to make a couple adjustments to those. I had to make an adjustment spacer for this power steering line right there. Oh my goodness, I got the brake booster. I'm using, for now, this is a temporary setup, so I'm using the stock STI brake booster line with the check valve in it. You guys can see the check valve right there. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way, because I totally forgot there was a check valve in that. And then it just goes down to a 90 and then goes to our TGV housing right there. So a lot done today. Those relays on the wiring really kicked my ass for about 5 hours. It was a learning experience. Oh, and I got all the spark plug wires in. I figured I could just make the other ends on the engine. It's not a big deal. So at this point, all that's left to do is do the vacuum line for the reference on the fuel pressure regulator over to this side of the TGV housing there. Finish the coolant line that goes from the bottom of the radiator back to the thermostat. This guy right here needs to be redone. It's just, it doesn't work. What we had before worked. I don't know why we changed it. So we'll get that sorted here soon. hopefully tomorrow. And lastly, I just need to go down to Williams oil filter tomorrow and get a power steering line made. I've got 2 of them here, but the ones that I have, I really don't think are gonna work. One of them's way too short, the other one's way too long, so I just kind of need a happy medium there. And then lastly, the other thing that I have left to do is just get that oil return up onto the turbo, which is gonna be a pain. I'm not gonna fight with it tonight. And obviously hook up the cat back to the downpipe and everything like that. So I'm almost done, you guys. Like, I am legit almost done with everything. So I think I'm gonna get that harness bar in the car tomorrow too, just to get it done with, but I'm gonna go pass out, you guys. I will catch you in like 5 hours my time. I'll be back out here like 7, so woo! Let's finish the Blue Brew. Let's do the thing. Let's do the stuff. All right, we're back. Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, technically, because this is like 3 hours before this video goes live. This morning, I ran over to Williams Oil Filter to try to get that power steering line made. Unfortunately, they are fresh out of -6 AN high pressure fittings, so we're gonna have to make our monstrosity of a line work. While I was there, I was also able to snag some 7/32 vacuum line for the fuel pressure regulator reference, so we can literally get everything done today, right now that I have control over to get done. Then I'm literally just stuck waiting for this intake manifold to come back so we can get the intake manifold on, the charge pipe, plumb up the vacuum line for the blow-off valve, then we're done. JK, and that lower radiator hose, but I'm not gonna stress that at this exact second. So, here is our vacuum line for fuel pressure regulator reference. Now, this is the monstrosity of a line that I was talking about that's absolutely way too long. This one is way too short. Well, it's not way too short. It was like 5 inches too short, so 5 inches makes a difference, though. If you're picking up what I'm saying. They're IAG high pressure lines. This one's for rotated. It would have worked if the power steering pump didn't sit so far forward, because our power steering pump sits a solid like 5 inches forward. I wouldn't say 5, yeah, maybe about 5 inches forward from where it would sit on an EJ, so that line obviously doesn't work. So let's get the last of these lines put in here. Let me get the oil return line put onto the turbo, and then I'm playing the waiting game. I may bag the BRZ today, depending on how long it takes me to get this intake manifold. All right, you guys, so I've done literally everything possible to get this thing running. It is out of my control now, and it is now in the hands of Kyle to get us the manifold back. So underneath the hood here, I was able to get the power steering line to work. It's a temporary setup. Don't judge it too much. I'm going to get one that's just a straight shot, so that way we lose all that crap over there. Oil returns bolted up. I got the wastegate dump tubes on there. Everything's done. The reference for the fuel pressure regulator, all that's left to do at this point is bolt the intake manifold on, plug in the coil packs, get the charge pipe on, put the throttle body on obviously with the charge pipe, and then finish the spark plug wires, and we can turn this thing on and hear it start for the first time, which will be in the next video, because I'm not making another video on this car until I get my manifold back. Kyle told me I should have it back today, so fingers crossed. And the radiator hose down there, which I need Kyle to fix also, so hopefully we get that back. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. The next video will be the first start. Like I said, I'm not making another video on the STI until I get that stuff back and we go to turn it on. So I may bag the BRZ today. It's a pretty nice day out. What do you think? Should we bag the BRZ?
We?
Hey, you want to help?
I mean, I could.
You ever bag a car?
I think so.
You think you bagged a car?
I ran lines before and had to fix them before.
I mean, it's not bad. So, might bag the BRZ today. We'll see. I got to finish editing and uploading this video for you guys. But we're literally at the home stretch, you guys. Everything works that we've tested so far. We're not going to know if everything works until we go to start the car. So, this is exciting. We are at the finish line. I just need that damn manifold back. So, if you guys like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it blue like the Subaru. There we go. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one, which will either be bagging the BRZ or starting this. Either way, it's an exciting video. So, peace out, homies.